have to pinch myself a little bit just to turn around, look over your shoulder and see Mike Joyce, you know what I mean, banging away on the skin. It's genuinely a positive time for me, I think, like musically and creatively. Yeah.
Libertines had an album out last year. You've got this album out. Did you think 20 years down the line, you and Carl would be there doing it still?
I don't know, really. I think we had quite an apocalyptic vision of tomorrow back then, you know. I don't really think we thought the world was going to be around for another 20 years. I think at some point I would like to just pull back a little bit.
Do you think you
in
could
the
stop
clouds.
though?
I don't know if I could stop writing, but I think maybe when she starts school, I'd like to be there for that. I can see myself stopping, yeah. The live thing anyway.
Virgin Radio.
Jayne Middlemiss, and I've been talking about this all day, but it is now happening. I am joined by a man whose first band, the Libertines, brought back rock and roll into the music scene after Britpop had fizzled out to a bit of a watery end. He was once as famous for his lifestyle choices as he was his music, but now he's living a much more sedate life in northern France with his wife and his lovely 2-year-old daughter, and he's got a stellar new album out, which I absolutely love. I am joined today by the one and only Pete Doherty.
Hello, Jane. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, darling. Now, how are we feeling?
I'm not too bad. No, I'm good. I don't get to London that often. So, God, you got a hell of a view here, haven't you?
It's
Wow,
absolutely.
look at this.
Is it true you were once banned from London, Pete?
Yeah, I had Court Injunction. I wasn't allowed to be within a London postcode between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9 a.m.
I don't know how they would police that, but never mind.
But they did, and they do. Yeah.
Oh, Pete, I'm sorry to hear that.
Fun and games. Yeah.
But I'm going to get straight into it. You are here because you have got an incredible announcement that you are making. That I just want to say thank you to you first. We are going to have a very special show here at Virgin Radio. Can you tell us what's going to be happening?
Yeah. No. Thanks for the offer. I think we're going to be playing a little set on your balcony.
You are.
So the band that have got together with the producer of my album, Felt Better Alive, Mr. Mike Moore, the lineup we've got that's playing the album live is going to be playing a little show on your balcony, yeah, from the belly of the Virgin Beast.
The belly of the beast, Pete Doherty, will be live on top of the Virgin Radio Tower. It's a very special one-off gig. It's very limited seating, standing. It's up close and personal with Pete, and you can be there. You can get tickets. It's the 1st of July. If you would like to be there, it's virginradio.co.uk/brilliance. It's not brilliance, but win. Now, Pete, I want to get straight into this album, Felt Better Alive. I was just touching on it. I with you earlier before we came live. This album, when I first downloaded it, it takes me into a much more sort of sublime state than I'm used to. It was sort of a very sort of peaceful, romantic. There's a lot of poetry underlined with tragedy in there, but also a lot of humour. Does this talk about where your life is now?
So does the tragedy mixed with the humour talk about where my life is now?
I think more the sublime music.
What can I say to that, Jane? I don't know. I had a collection of what I thought were pretty strong songs. Things like Felt Better Alive, Pot of Gold, Calvados, and Ed Belly. Songs that are obviously on the album now, if you've heard it. And it was around the time we was recording the last Libertines album. All Quiet on East Esplanade, and I sort of took them in and put them on the table for Carl and the boys, and they weren't really feeling them as Libertine songs, you know. Maybe they were a bit too, I don't know what, but a bit too Pete, maybe, you know, maybe a little bit downbeat, a bit acoustical. So I needed to put them out because I started playing them live, you know, when I've been doing my little acoustic sets. And I wanted to record them properly, and so, you know, in the absence of any interest from Carl, I just had to put them out. So I put them out on my own. That's not me bitching against Carl. No. You know what I mean? Obviously, a Libertine song is a song that's mine and his, rather than just mine. So this gentleman, this Liverpudlian gentleman called Mike Moore, came round one day. People might know him from his work with Liam Gallagher. He plays guitar with Liam Gallagher, and he's written and played and produced people like Baxter Jury and Drew McConnell. So I sort of knew of him and his musical pedigree, but he came round one day to my gaff and I played him the songs, and he took it and ran with it, really. He sort of helped me polish a few of the rougher edges, stick in a little missing verse or middle eight that it needed, and so he's co-writer on a few of the songs, and then more importantly for me, producer of the album, and he arranged the strings. And so really it's thanks to meeting him, really, and that fateful visit, that this album's come together. And I do love the album, but what we've been doing with it live, with Mike Joyce from the Smiths, he's joined the band playing it live. It's opened up, like, it's all I don't know. It's just I mean, I do love the album. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
But it sounds, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Meatier, beatier, bigger and bouncier. So as you'll hear when we play on the Virgin,
I can't wait.
and it's a little bit of a. Well, it's not a little bit of a. It's a complete fulfilment of a teenage fantasy for me as well. Playing these tunes with Mike Joyce as well.
Must be.
You know what I mean? So it's so I have to pinch myself a little bit. You know, I think we've done 14 or 15 shows with him now. We just did a little run around Belgium and Germany, and just to turn around, look over your shoulder and see Mike Joyce, you know what I mean, banging away on the Skinners. It's genuinely a positive time for me, I think, like musically and creatively.
I mean, you've been like prolifically writing, all throughout the years. But you've had the Libertines album out last year. You've got this album out now. We're gonna hear your new single, Pot of Gold. This is the first single from the album that's been released. Tell me about that song and what it's about.
Pot of Gold is pretty self-explanatory, really, in the lyrics. I think for once as well, I don't mumble. I just sing the lyrics as clearly and as truly as I can, because it's a very personal story of trying to write a song whilst your toddler is, like pulling at your leg, or throwing bits of Lego at you, trying to get your attention. So it's just that, really, like, hush my darling, don't you cry, your dad's trying to write you a lullaby, etc., etc.
I love the next bit. If it becomes a massive hit,
and if that lullaby is a hit, your daddy's going to buy you loads of cool and we'll forget about the times they always tried to run me out of town, going back to being banned from London.
I love it.
It's sweet. Oh, you're going to play
sorry,
it?
I am going to play it, and I do just have to apologise for the language, because we are live and it came out. But Pete, this is Pot of Gold, Peter Doherty. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is Pot of Gold, Peter Doherty, who is joining me at the top of the tower of Virgin Radio. I am Jayne Middlemiss. Pete, we were just talking about your daughter actually thinks that's just a little lullaby that you sing every night. She's not quite aware that it's actually a massive hit yet.
No. Well, it's not quite a massive hit yet, but
it's
you know what I mean?
be,
But with your help, it's still a good song.
It's a very good song. And what have you bought her?
Anything bluey related seems to go down well. So even if it's just like a really cack, Taiwanese made molten bluey plastic figurine,
she's aware.
Yeah, she's happy. Yeah. Although she prefers the boxes, I think, and the paper to the actual toy a lot of the time.
I think that's a 2-year-old trait.
Which, long may it continue.
I think it's a 2-year-old trait. Now, Pete, we were talking about how prolific you are. You having a sort of prolific creative spell. The Libertines had an album out last year. You've got this album out. Libertines are back on tour. You're doing some massive gigs across the country with the Libertines.
Across the world.
Across the world, yes. I want to talk to you about that. Did you ever think 20 years ago, when you were starting out, 2002, it all comes out. Did you think 20 years down the line, you and Carl would be there doing it still?
I don't know, really. I think we had quite an apocalyptic vision of tomorrow back then, I don't really think we thought the world was going to be around for another 20 years. But it is, and here we are, and I'm glad. I do feel that I think I've earned some time off. Like, my dream really is just to rent a little shop space,
yeah,
and all the tat that I've accumulated that because we still live at my mother-in-law's, right? Because we had some problem with humidity in the little place
In
we
your
bought.
cottage?
Yeah, so we can't live there. So we live at my mother-in-law's, and all the tat I've accumulated that I've had to buy a storage space to keep in. I'm thinking the time might have come, and I have to ask my manager about this. But I'm thinking next year I'd like to rent a shop space, and all my broken typewriters and football programs and mannequins and all military hard and software, just try and set myself up a little brocante, which is basically the French word for, I don't know, second-hand stuff. Yeah,
Bric and
brocante.
brac.
I think I'm calling it brock and roll, brocante and roll,
I like it.
But I could do that. I could see myself sat outside the shop, smoking one of my vintage pipes, tobacco only, with
kids.
my dogs, and I could raise Billy May in the ways of typewriter repair. And I got so much stuff, honestly. You know what I mean? If anyone's looking for a broken typewriter, I'm your man.
I know how this feels. I myself would like to open a yoga studio on a beach. This is...
Do it, Jayne.
I want
do
to,
it.
Pete.
Do
I
it.
think it's the way forward. It's really funny because I got a friend of mine going to the Gunnersbury Park Libertines show. They're taking their 2 kids with their wife. It's now like a family day out, the Libertines. That's quite an interesting sort of turn of phrase, isn't it?
It's funny you say it. We're getting now, there's sometimes second, even third generation Libertine fans coming through, It's it's beautiful. It's like, and it's probably something that once upon a time I would have kicked against and thought was corny. I always used to look at aging bands and and shudder, but I love it now. I love it. Like even like Shed 7, seeing I supported Shed 7 at their hometown gig in York, and just seeing Rick with his he's got like a Roman legion of kids who all running around backstage, and one of them was in the support band, and the other one's it's just that'd be the dream, hand on the baton to Billy May, let her get on with it, and I can crack on with my shop. Because the thing is, in this business, it's always about, right, you do this, you hit it hard this year, and you can have next year off. But it never happens like that. You know what I mean? You're always, So I think at some point I would like to just pull back a little bit, and then I don't feel that I was always desperate to write songs. It was always I have to write new songs. But I think I've earned a bit of time in the sun, if not just,
Do you think you could stop, though? I mean, writing has always been your solace, hasn't it?
I don't think I could stop writing, but I think maybe when she starts school, I'd like to be there for that, So I can see myself stopping, the live thing anyway.
So you and Carl now, how is that, how you and Carl, you meeting was such an important moment, not just for you both personally, but for music. What is your relationship like now, and what's it like being on stage now?
I think I can speak for us both. Well, I can speak for us both, and I will, when I say that we are and have always been mates, but I think there's more peace between us now. It's more tranquilo, as they say in Mexico, which where we were last week. He's putting together his own brand of tequila, actually.
Is he?
Yeah, I forget what he's calling it, but he's starting his own brand.
Forgetting what it's called. Tequila. It's what normally happens, isn't it?
Mockingbird tequila. I did have a suggestion for him. What's my suggestion? Barra tequila.
Very nice.
But he just does that thing where he raises one eyebrow at a time. He's got it all worked out, and he had his camera crew following him around, doing the promotion for the tequila. And no, it did cross my mind actually that things are better between us, I think, than they have been for a long time, and maybe ever, really. It's just that frantic desperation we had back then to prove ourselves, for whatever reason, and to prove ourselves to the world and achieve something with the band. I think we'd done it. It's a hard thing to actually, for him, I think.
Well,
especially to actually admit that or recognise that we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. But there has to come a point where you say, no,
we did it.
We smashed it, and going places like Mexico, it's so far from Camden, it's so far from Margate, and yet the kids there coming to the gigs, they love it just the same. You know what I mean? We're really made to feel welcome, and they're all camped out. They meet you at the airport, and then they camp outside the hotel with their guitars. And
Pete, we're running out of time for this section.
Okay.
Will you stay with me?
I'll stay if you like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That will be amazing. The brilliant Libertines on Virgin Radio. It is Jayne Middlemiss. I am joined by the main man himself, Pete Doherty, in the house. Pete!
Hola.
I mean, come on. That tune is really good.
It's still a good song. Still stands up, that.
It does. And, you know, back in the day, Libertines, chaos in a bottle. And you were famous at one point for your lifestyle choices, as much as, you know, we were just talking, we're both, you know, in recovery from addiction. You know, how are you now? How well are you now?
I think I say I'm better.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, but much better. I don't, you know, I it's been 5-6 years now, you know, since I would describe myself as a full-on addict. So better, healthier.
You still drink. Alcohol's
I still have the odd, I still have the odd glass of
Pete.
cider, but not that often. Normally around shows, for some
Yeah.
reason I can't get into that thing of doing a gig without half a cider sometimes. But you know, I try. Sometimes I'll go maybe 6 weeks, and then. But I'm not. You know, even when I have a drink now, I'm not. You know, lashed up and minging, and I sleep, and it's just. You know.
Took me 6 years after stopping drugs to give up alcohol. I
Right.
think that's the one that's very hard because it's everywhere, it's prolific, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, everybody's doing it, especially, you know, rock and roll.
I think it's something I like to do, and I need to do for myself and for my body. You know, I'm not getting any younger, but still struggling with that a little bit. Yeah, but much better, I think.
You look healthier and you seem really on top. You know, you're on top form. You know, lyrically, you're there. You know, all of the creative stuff is there. You're on top form with the band. You've got the Libertines out. You're doing this show for us. You know, it's like you're having a renaissance, aren't you?
Yeah, okay, why not? Yeah, if you like, I'll take that. Yeah.
But it is. Do you feel like you're coming back and this is your time? You're being reborn in this era, and you're a bit more mature.
Yeah, in my head, I don't really feel like I ever went away. I think I've always been very prolific. I think even at my lowest, it was always writing songs. So, I mean, if anything, the messier parts of my life were probably gave me the most fodder for you know, for lyrics and songs. So it's a strange one, but
do you think writing saved your life, Pete?
Yeah, in many ways. Yeah, I dread to think what would happen to me.
Was there a time where you ever were frightened and you thought, I might not be here?
Yeah, those moments of extreme pressure and extreme darkness. Yeah, you know, there's been a lot of negative energy around me. You know, the deaths and jail and things like that. I thought I was lucky to have scraped through a few times. Yeah, like a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Me too.
And it doesn't always act as a wake up call. You know what I mean?
No.
And so many people, they don't make it through.
We are really lucky, you know.
Yeah, I do feel blessed.
Yeah.
In many ways, yeah. But those moments when you have to pray, I think that's why it was for me. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Well, we have got this gig on the 1st of July. What can we expect from you at the top of the tower?
First and foremost, you can expect Mike Joyce. You know what I mean? In all his
Are you
glory
going to
and
be
legend.
doing? You've got Mike Joyce, right?
Yeah,
You've got
Mike.
you. You've got. Are you doing? We've got. They're going to have the new album. Are you doing some classics? A few little Libertines.
Yeah,
Are you going to
we'll
chuck
in
some
a
of
couple-
them?
Chuck in a
Chuck in a
Libertine
little
song or
Baby
two,
Shambles.
Maybe a Smith song.
Oh yes.
Billy May will be there with a kid-sized maracas. My wife's going to be on piano. We got an amazing pedal steel guitarist called Mark Neary. He's going to be there. And Mike Moore, who I mentioned before, producer and
Amazing.
guitarist extraordinaire. He's going to be there. And, of course, the mighty Jack Jones. It's going to be there,
Pete.
playing the other guitar. What's not to like?
What's not to like, my friend? It's going to be amazing. Pete, if you would like to be there with Pete and all those other people, it's virginradio.co.uk/win for your tickets. And Pete, you are going to be doing a radio show for us 29th of June.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So before that, do listen out that. But Pete, it has been a joy and a pleasure to chat to you. I wish you could stay here longer, but you have to go now.
There you go. Schedules.
Discipline. Timings, discipline. This is what we're learning, my friend. Thank you so much.
No bother. Pleasure.